Ongoing war in Ukraine is having an impact not just on the lives of those that have to live through it, but on the climate in the region. Russia's invasion has climate experts on high alert. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has issued a series of reports saying that the ongoing climate crisis can increase the risk of crop losses in food-producing regions across the world, a reality exacerbated by geopolitical events like the war. Carroll Muffett, President and CEO of Center for International Environmental Law, joins us now to help break this down. Good to see you, Carroll. Thanks again for joining us. Both nations are agricultural powerhouses and together account for nearly a third of global wheat and barley exports. Researchers are estimating that millions of people could suffer from malnutrition in the years following this invasion as a result of a lack of arable land that can be plowed. Can this really have a lasting negative impact on food availability worldwide?
Well, I think, as you noted when you began, the impacts of war on human rights, on human lives, are profound. They're profound for the communities directly affected, and they can have ripple consequences both across time and across geographies. Here, yes, Russia and Ukraine are both large-scale exporters of critical food crops. I think there are immediate risks that arise from this, but there are also long-term systemic risks that we can plan for. If we recognize now that food security is likely to be affected by this, the US, Europe, the OECD can plan for it and plan to save lives. Much more fundamentally, I think when we look at what is driving this invasion, what we see is that the fossil fuels that are driving the climate crisis are also fueling Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And that does have profound consequences both for the environment and for the climate.
And what are the short-term and long-term consequences for the climate from this war?
In the very short term, you just reported on efforts to save forests. We've seen in Ukraine that Russian bombardments and Russian attacks set forests on fire in the Chernobyl zone, which remobilized radioactive dust over large areas, contributing not only radioactivity to the environment, but releasing greenhouse gases. There are fundamental risks to the climate that arise from attacks on fossil fuel related facilities. And one of the real long-term risks to the climate from this Russian invasion arises from the response of the US and Europe to that invasion. Ironically, Russia's invasion and the response from the US and Europe to end their dependence on Russian oil and gas could mean accelerating the transition away from fossil fuels in ways that fight both Russia's invasion and Russia's war and the climate crisis itself. But what we're seeing is a drive to actually deepen reliance on fossil fuels from other sources, locking in new fossil fuel infrastructure in the form of liquefied natural gas import terminals, new pipelines. If the US and Europe choose that route, they'll actually deepen the climate crisis in the name of responding to Russian atrocities.
All right, Carroll Muffett, we really appreciate your time, your expertise. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.